If you're naturally a beautiful woman and you like being polished, you like doing things like your skincare, looking good, making sure you wear fashionable clothes, try on different makeup to see what works best for you love your accessories and so on, you need to know that Pretty Punishment will be 100 times worse. So it's one thing for you to be beautiful, but to kind of not really put much effort into your appearance because, at the very least, it still sort of makes you accessible. It still gives off accessibility, and to both men and women, and so they don't hate you as much. Okay, they still think there's a possibility for them to access you and be able to get the ego stroke of saying they have access to the beautiful woman. So I used to have a boss who was a complete weirdo, and he at the time I didn't realize it, but because I always came to work looking very polished, he despised me for it, especially because he comes from a very working class background, and I was kind of given, middle class, well raised, well educated, that sort of energy, right? And so he really despised me, especially because I think I represented to him the type of woman who probably never gave him much attention when he was much younger, and he still resented any woman that reminded him of that woman. And so what he would do is he would often give me humiliating tasks at work that involved, getting very dirty, putting my hands in grime, and so on. And because in his head, he was trying to take away that power I had over him as the more kind of classy, elegant woman who would never give him the time of day. But regardless of how much he tried, it, you know, my energy was still very much given, classy, so and so on. It was still given well bred, that sort of energy, right? And regardless of how much he tried, I was still beautiful. And then obviously the next day I would come in, having been, become well rested, taking care of my skin again, and he would get again upset again about how, I would come in the next day glowing, looking good, and so on. And eventually, he actually got so mad at me that he started to act very strangely. I had to quit. I was like, this guy's genuinely deranged. Okay, so that is just an example to show how you being kind of more down to earth in how you present yourself physically, it makes people feel less threatened by you. Whereas if you are beautiful and you actually are very high maintenance and you polished, and so on, that makes people very threatened, and it really, really intensifies the level of and the complexity of Pretty Punishment that you receive.